I find it curious as like going through notes and doing some research that Pärt, who grew up and existed and practiced his faith in the Eastern Orthodox tradition, it took him a while to begin drawing on that experience and that part of him that I would imagine is very personal. Do you have any notions why it took him so long to?
Well, I think he was drawing on it in an implicit way. The sound world, the for lack of a better word, the sort of spirituality of the Latin piece of music, the austerity of it, I think is something that comes very much from his own spiritual tradition. I think some of it, again, just had to do with the availability of forces and commissions and so on, because he moved after leaving the Soviet Union. He went to Germany, and the people who were around him were choirs in Catholic, in some cases Protestant, but ones who were used to doing things in Latin. And he wrote a number of pieces that were for actual liturgical use, things like the Berliner Mess and other pieces. I think some of it comes too from the fact that his artistic reorientation was something that occurred in part through the study of medieval music. Mm-hmm. So he had medieval Western prototypes to study there. But there is a piece actually that was fairly early on called he had the setting of a couple of Slavonic psalms, which was not as widely distributed as the other pieces as well. And again, some of the problem always if you're writing things in Slavonic and I don't think he's written anything in Greek, but the problem is just finding people to tackle the language. It's always a sort of thing where for many choirs now in fact, when Pärt started writing, the Rachmaninoff Vigil, the so-called Vespers, was not yet the war horse that it is now, where all sorts of choirs do it. I mean, there was the one recording that had been done by the USSR Russian chorus in the early 70s when they were given permission to do it for the Rachmaninoff Centennial. But there just were not the type, it just wasn't as well known. And so I think, too, the accessibility of Slavonic literature to non-Russian choirs has increased thanks to the efforts of people like Vlad Morazan and Musica Rusica and all sorts of people, King's College Choir recording the Rachmaninoff Vigil and so on. So I think that has given him more freedom in that regard as well, just a change in the external climate.
Did Cappella Romana, as you've been working with them the last week or so, have they had any problems with the Slavonic? Or?
Oh, it's always something that it takes a little bit of extra time to chew through the text. They're pretty familiar with it. We have done Slavonic music from our very first concert, and we've done many all-Slavonic concerts, entire Russian Baroque and Ukrainian Baroque concerts, as well as more modern repertoire. So it takes a little bit of extra work and reminding. And because some of the vowels are a little complicated, or the ways the vowels interact with certain of the consonants. Unlike Greek, actually, which is the vowels are so easy, it's like Italian by and large. That once you learn a couple of consonants that are different, it's very easy.
Right. So, how would you describe Arvo Pärt's music to somebody who's never heard a single note of Pärt's music sung?
Well,
and that may be
who's never heard a note of it, and someone who presumably is not looking for a technical explanation.
Right, exactly. But it's inclined to come hear you guys sing.
But inclined to hear us. Well, I would say that his music has a great profundity to it. It is music that is highly concentrated, at the same time very simple, at least on the surface. So it's not highly concentrated in the sense of some composers of the 20th century tried to pack everything but the kitchen sink in their works. Instead, what you have with him is a kind of intensity and seriousness of purpose. And this is expressed through stripping down, a number of people have said this besides me, musical language down to its essentials. So I think that's the sort of first impression. It may sound sort of forbidding, but in fact, is it allows him to get to the heart of the matter somehow. Right. And because the musical idiom is, again, especially when you're rehearsing it, you learn how deceptively simple it is, that it doesn't erect as many barriers as perhaps some other types of music do. It allows you to come into it and will keep you there.
Right. And now tonight's concert is the second concert out of 4 concerts.
Out of 4. And
it started in Portland, Seattle, and then you have 2 more concerts in Canada, right? At the end of this tour, is there anything that you're hoping to achieve? Are there any goals in mind?
Well, the main goal is just having reacquainted ourselves with Arvo Pärt and audiences with his music as well. It's just for a variety of reasons. It's been a while since we did any large quantity of his music. So I think it's just been marvelous in and of itself to have a chance to go back to it and to share that with other people, especially the fact that we're doing excerpts of a larger work that is very much based in certain parts of the Orthodox liturgical traditions, and one of the things, because we spend a lot of time doing Orthodox liturgical music, I think there is an affinity that we have that we're not weirded out by the forms or something. We
Right.
sort of know what's going on because we have a larger context for that, and that helps us then be able to interpret and share that with others.
Right. I had the privilege of hearing a concert in Holy Rosary last week, and I was really stunned by the acoustics. It has great acoustics for a sort of unassuming church, and I imagine this isn't the first time you guys have sung in Holy Rosary.
No, actually it was for quite a number of years, our regular venue, Seattle venue. We started off at Greek Orthodox Church of the Assumption on Capitol Hill, which is a very small church. When we started adding Seattle concerts to our Portland season, and then when we outgrew it, we came here. So we've been at Town Hall for the past couple of years, but always many of the audience members always expressed a great fondness, and the singers as well for Holy Rosary, and we've also used it for recordings.
Oh, it's a great church. The music just is a way of lingering in the air longer than I think even at Town Hall. Town Hall's acoustics are pretty good too. Well, thank you, Alex, for taking time to chat with me this afternoon. I hope the concert goes well tonight, and I hope the rest of the tour goes well.
Thanks very much.